Good morning to all, and thank you for coming. On my right, my name is Ari Raif. I happen to be involved with Step by Step without egos, titles, and nonsense. We are here to move on an issue which is bipartisan and extremely important. We are here to support Nancy and Lou. To my very far right, Lou. Khaled is from Jenin, West Bank, occupied territories of Palestine. And next to me is Bess, which is the best thing that ever happened to me, because she happens to be not only an executive and a respected executive, she is with the Marriott Hotels of Canada. She's a GM, and she has been very, very instrumental when it comes to assist Lou and Nancy in the most difficult times of their life. I want to thank the founder and the man that created Step by Step, George Marcello, who is in front of me, and he will be soon introducing you to the foundation called Step by Step. Before I say anything, I just want to make sure that we all understand that since there is not a very large number of media present, I have to tell you that Mark Twain said once that if you don't read newspapers, you are ignorant. If you read newspapers, you are misinformed. So I want to make sure that nobody is misinformed and that everybody understands that we are on the same page. This is an issue that the media neglected to focus on. We have some support from the Toronto Star, and I will name them so that it will be clear. The media is much more interested in some violence, rapes, and other items that sell newspapers rather than dealing with a severe humanitarian issue of organ donations. Around this table are two people that have no borders when it comes to organ donations. Lou, a Canadian, and his wife Nancy, who needs immediately organs to be transferred so we can save her life. This is not an issue of breaking into a house, gets a full blown out of proportion, mentioning in the media, while issues of human nature have been swept under the rug. This has to stop. To your right, to my right, Khaled from Jenin, West Bank, is a phenomenal story of human spirit in action. When his brother was killed by mistake, the organs of a Palestinian boys were donated to Jewish recipients, and 4 Israeli kids, including one ultra-Orthodox Jewish kid, actually live today thanks to your brother, your late brother. You coming to Canada is a matter of organs without borders, because this issue is too delicate to leave it to, with all the respect due to politicians and to the media. If they don't want to treat it seriously, they have an issue with me. If they want to help, they have to stand and decorate not some hoodlums that do not deserve any recognition in society. They have to decorate a transplant recipient like George Marcello, like someone who for 15 years devotes his life to make sure that things happen. They have to write about you and about you, Lou, because this is a daily struggle. This is not a small potato issue that can be shuffled to the last page of the newspaper, if they write at all. And I'm critical because I think the humanitarian aspect in this society has been removed. People are busy with nonsense. Most of the day they spend on, they waste their time. The young generation doesn't get the information. All they do is they play with their smartphones. They are not educated on humanitarian values. There is no education on the basics. And the politicians in this house better listen carefully. People are much more important in building relations than governments, agencies, spokes agencies. They are only distracting and diverting the issues. So we better be honest, straight, and say, and put on the table the issues as they are. With that, I finished, and I hope I said what I really mean, and I mean what I say. Thank you very much. George Marcelo, please, the introduction of video step by step.
Thank you.
A Palestinian boy dies in Rambam Hospital, and his parents decide to donate his organs. 6 Israelis will receive the heart, kidneys, lungs, and liver of little Ahmed.
Thank you very much, and I think that we'll start, with your permission, Madam Chairman, we'll start with Lou to introduce the case, which is the reason we are here, which is the reason we believe we should be here. By the way, I have to mention that the sponsorship of Step by Step is not only by Canadian organization, Canadian politician, it's far more than this. There are organizations and foundations in Canada that believe that we have and we have to support Nancy now. So you have all our support. Please.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lou Savlaggio. I'm from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank a few people here this morning. Ari, thank you so much for your honest words. They were very meaningful and actually are quite reflective of the situation of today. Thank you very much. Beth Osborne from the Marriott in downtown Toronto. From the very moment we arrived here at the beginning of January, we really didn't know what to expect. But as soon as we got out of the car and met the people from the Marriott, the welcome that we have felt, the family atmosphere that they have created for us has been something that we really didn't know what to expect. But they have done so much in so many ways, and it has made our stay in Toronto through this very difficult time a lot better than we could ever have imagined. So, Beth, thank you so much. I also like to thank George and Khaled, who I've had the opportunity to meet because of the Oregon and Step-by-Step program. And thank them so much for doing this step-by-step in Sault Ste. Marie. Really, there isn't words to describe how much we appreciate what you folks are doing for us. When we first were faced with this some 21 months ago, a lot of people ask how we're doing, and what I have to say is that I look at it and I could say, well, we've been together for 37 years, and we've had a wonderful life together, and a lot of people don't have the opportunity to have as long as a life as we have had. So I'm very fortunate and I feel good about that. On the other hand, sometimes it can feel angry that this has happened to such a wonderful wife and mother and grandmother. But the truth is, when people ask how we're doing, we don't even know how we're doing because it's just a very difficult situation, and you really don't know how you're doing until you're actually faced with that. And that's the case with so many things in life. So, again, thank you guys so much for everything. I just wanted to say a few things about, I'm a statistical man, so bear with me for a few things. Organ transplantation has evolved from being an experimental thing to the treatment of choice. So there are many Ontarians that are awaiting the gift of life. Unfortunately, the supply of solid organs for transplantation has not met the demand and remains relatively unchanged over the past decade. The purpose of us being here, the purpose of us doing the walk, is not to raise money for the situation that we are personally involved in, but the sole purpose is to create awareness so that if people in the future are in need of organs, that it becomes available more readily than they currently are. Talk to your family. Even if you have registered to consent your organs, the doctors will ask you at the time if they can recover your organs. You may find the topic of organ donation uncomfortable, but try and make a firm decision about this, and keep it in mind that when someone passes, the family is often faced with a difficult situation at the worst possible time. And this can be made easier if the family is aware of the wishes of an organ and tissue donation. Knowing that their loved ones' final wishes are carried out can help to save many lives in the process and be a great source of solace. There are a few things that we all can do. We can discuss with our family members about our personal decisions. We could talk about it where we feel natural and comfortable in our own settings, when we're going for a walk, when we're going for a drive. Make it a topic of discussion. Have a discussion with people you know. Who would be called to your bedside if you were about to die? These are people who will be asked permission to go ahead with a donation. Talk to them about your decision and listen openly to other people's concerns. Take the time to find out what each person in your family would want, as well as extended families and friends. And by talking it over with your family members, it will be a lot easier if the time should arrive where you need to make this kind of decision. Just a few interesting things. To date, there have been 742 transplants locally. from liver, heart, kidney, lung, etc. Currently, there are 1,533 people on the waiting list. So I think if we had a lot more people aware of this circumstance, we could eliminate some of these 1,533 people. To date, for example, they have done 77 lung transplants. In 2002, they did 56 lung transplants and have progressed not automatically up to the 102 that they did last year, because some years they did 80, some years they did 99, other years they were back to 80 again. So they don't do transplants just for the sake of doing them. They have to be an exact match. There are certain criteria that need to be met. One is organ size, of course. There's blood type. There's antibodies. And I understand that the decision for transplantation is a very complex one. And when the organs are harvested, the Trillium Foundation would make the organs available to the surgeons who would ultimately decide who is the best candidate for transplants. I just wanted to say to the people in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, or the Be a Donor program, has had a goal of 300,000 people that they wanted to sign up for organ transplantation. Since April the 1st till June 30th, they have done 66,000, or 22% of their goal. So to the people of Sault Ste. Marie, there are 70,137 people that carry a health card in Sault Ste. Marie currently. Out of those, 27,448 have signed their donor or are registered donors, which represents 39%. Great numbers. We are 24th out of 179 in our community as far as transplant, or as far as donation. And the purpose of us being here today is to increase that number as much as possible. There are 3 different ways to donate. You could download the Gift of Life consent form. You could go to any person at any Service Ontario Centre. Of course, you can go to Be a Donor CA and fill out the consent form there. Thank you very much for everyone here for the opportunity, and George and Ari and Beth and Kayla, thank you so much, and I hope things work out really good tomorrow for Nancy and Sault Ste. Marie. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lou. Beth, the floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Beth Osborne, and I am the General Manager of the Residence Inn by Marriott on Wellington Street in Toronto. I'm here today to share a somewhat unique perspective and personal perspective on the importance of our goal today. The Residence Inn Hotel has suites that are fully furnished like apartments, offering the comforts of a modern home, which makes it an ideal place for extended stays. We have had several out-of-town guests stay with us who are on wait lists for organ transplants, as they have to be within 1 hour of the hospital should they get the call. The associates at Residence Inn have seen firsthand how the Gift of Life works. The guests who have stayed with us in the past have primarily have been waiting for lung donations. We've had guests check into the hotel barely able to walk from weakness and dependent on oxygen tanks for breathing. They have good days when they're up and about, and bad days when they do not have enough energy to leave their room. Unfortunately, Nancy is in the latter case, where she's having many more bad days where she's unable to leave her room. They usually have a family member with them who stays by their side and helps them do the everyday things that we take for granted, like brushing their teeth or bathing while visitors to these guests come and go. Inevitably, our team of associates becomes their extended family, and we all do what we can to make sure that they remain comfortable and well looked after. This might include celebrating their birthday or anniversary with these special guests, bringing them homemade goodies, or babysitting their dog when they go to the hospital for their appointments, just to name a few. When our guests get the call that an organ is available, We say our goodbyes and good lucks and prepare for their return after surgery. It's remarkable to see the transition of a person who is so sick that they have to ride a scooter to being able to dance, walk, and sometimes run around our hotel. And best of all, they get to go home. But it's the time that they spend waiting for that call that's the hardest for everybody. There's a window of opportunity that the surgery can take place for a recipient, and we are afraid that Nancy's window is becoming shorter and shorter. So, obviously, what brought me here today is our guest Nancy, Lou's wife, who's waiting for double lung and liver transplant. Both must be from the same donor. Lou and Nancy have been staying with us since January, and when I go to work in the morning and look into their eyes and see the anguish that one more night has passed without the call, without a donation, it truly fills me with despair. I know that one more day will pass that will bring Nancy closer to the end of that window of opportunity, that she will have to endure one more day of trying to catch her breath, and one more day that she and her husband will be away from their home, from their children and their grandchildren, and away from their friends and life as they knew it, waiting in anticipation for that gift of life. So the question that keeps popping in my head are, where are all the donors and why is it taking so long? I did a survey of my own associates at the hotel, and out of 100 of them, only about 15 actually have driver's licenses. And many people have old health cards that never expire. So how would they know that there's a need for organ donors? How would they know how to register? How do people know about the lives that are lost waiting for transplants? The people who are being sent home because their window of opportunity has ended? How is the message getting out there? Hopefully, we're here to do that. I was here a month ago with a group of people pleading for people to register their donor cards. Available data does not show how much change there has been in registered donors since then. And as well as I said, Nancy's health continues to deteriorate to the point where she can't even get out of bed, and I fear that soon she'll be moved to a hospital. Tomorrow we have a scheduled march with Caleb in Sault Ste. Marie, and all of Lou and Nancy's family and friends and colleagues and co-workers will be joining to get the word out in Sault Ste. Marie about the awareness and the importance of registering for organ donation. I can only hope that tomorrow's event reaches more people outside of Sault Ste. Marie. It gets out to people all across Ontario so that more and more residents get registered. And I hope and I pray every single day that Nancy's life will be saved by one of those registered donors. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. One should mention here something very important we sometimes neglect. I'll be very short. Corporate Canada deserves some credit. And I'm talking corporations that really devote time and efforts and financial resources to assist. And I want to say thank you to the Marriott family of hotels. And I call on Corporate Canada to wake up and instead of talking nonsense and taking on issues which have no humanitarian aspects, in order to support organ donations, they should make this as a priority rather than support, with all respect due, projects that have not immediate needs. Corporate Canada has the money, they have the moral stand to come out and say, okay, we're sending a message to our corporation, friends, to the community. Help. This is a time of help. Khaled, welcome to Canada.
Thank you.
And I hope your English is good enough now, because you know, when we had the Pope, the Polish Pope once came to England, and the British lady at immigration asked him, why did you come to the UK? And he said, I came to polish my English. She said, you may go home. Your English is Polish enough. So if you have problems to explain, don't worry. Tfaddal.
Thank you. Thanks. Hello everyone, today I finished the Ontario campaign. I carry the torch of life in memory of Betty Albright and for Elaine Campbell when she need a double lungs transplant. For 110 days in 71 cities and towns, today I carry the torch for Nancy and tomorrow in her city of Sault-Ste. Yeah. She need a double lungs life transplant, and we pray that he will receive this torch without her thanks. Without him. Just like Elaine Campbell, please help us do this by register at www.torchoflife.com or beadonor.ca. I would like to thanks MPP, Frank Kells, and Mr. Mendel Green, and the Step by Step, and everybody here. Thank you, thanks, and thank you.
Thank you, Khaled. This is great. And, you know, you come from an area where Mary was born. Mary was born in the Holy Land. Tomorrow we are going to Sault Saint Mary, another Saint Mary. I hope this will work. But if it's the power of gods or if it's power of people, we have to find a solution for Nancy, and any call, any progress that can be made on this will save life. I want to thank, we are about to conclude this meeting. I want to thank all of you for coming. As a former Israeli diplomat, I could talk forever. I will stop here. I am busy now. I'm an ex-soldier, and I can tell you this. If we are not going to find a solution to live together, we will die together. So your act, your brother's act, donations of organs to Israeli kids has an impact on me. Today I am the vice chairman and the CEO of the Canadian Peres Center for Peace, which is headed, not today, but because he's the president of Israel, but headed by Shimon Peres, the Nobel Peace Prize laureate. And I'm sending you greetings to all of you and to Nancy for a speedy recovery. We pray that this will happen, and the message has to go out. We will do everything possible. George, thank you very much. The torch was blessed by the Pope. I believe that tomorrow in Sault Ste. Marie, we are going to carry it with dignity, pride, hope, and Khaled, you will be the one that will carry it. So it is now official. Good luck. Thank you so much, and good afternoon.